All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It is time to go racing. Giancarlo and Harry are on the front row. Adam Barker, Andrew Lau have the second row. Max Gunther and Nick Sorensen on the third row. Yuho and Mike Marshall on the fourth row. Dylan Steinbach and Zach Bache rounding out the top 10. George Cole starts in 11th with Brian Hewitt back in 12th and Ryan McDaniel back in 13th. All the drivers getting lined up in that final chicane. Everybody stacks up and begins to roll here at Charlotte. Hey, good morning, Tina. I knew you'd like him starting in 13th. Kevin, the Conlift team was on track to a top 5 or a podium finish. A mistake with about 5 hours left to go ended their race. And hey, good morning, Anto, new follower on Twitch. Thanks for dropping by. No, I believe it was a driver error from what I read. Coming back up through NASCAR 1 and 2 onto the back straightaway. This will be the highest speed part of the track here this morning. And drivers will try and carry as much momentum out of this turn down the back straightaway before getting hard on the brakes into the bus stop on the backstretch. And remember, it is 2 races this morning. The sprint race up first, 20 minutes. The top 7 in that race will invert for race number 2. The endurance race here, which could be the more interesting of the races due to strategy and walls, which have been a problem for pretty much all the drivers this morning. Kevin, I've seen quite a bit of that today too. Here we go, pace car about to drop in. As they come into that final chicane, Barney the flagman, flag up in the air. Here they go. Green is in the air. Giancarlo leads towards turn 1. Adam Barker is starting from pit road. He just now rolled off. Not sure what the delay was. This is a very tight infield track. The drivers have to be very, very careful. It's going to get very tight, very close between them throughout. Coming through that particular turn, the car has a tendency to unsettle coming over the top of the hill. Especially in the early laps on cold tires. Giancarlo leads them down toward the bus stop. This is where we will see a lot of activity as drivers will accidentally overshoot or hit the turtles to the inside. Too hard can send you flying into the wall. Down through that final chicane to cross the line. Giancarlo will lead lap number 1. Points leader Andrew Lau is now up into 3rd. Adam Barker is currently scored back in 13th. This could be a huge day in the points for Andrew Lau. Zach Bache has had a problem back behind. Zach just coming into the infield and gets loose, goes around into the wall. A low speed section, that car should be okay. Does look like minimal damage to the left front. Harry currently rolls in 2nd, Max Gunther in 3rd. Yuho now up into 4th, Nick Sorensen in 5th. Andrew Lau has slipped all the way back to 10th place. See what happened to Andrew Lau here coming into the infield. Just gets loose. Wow, Max Gunther, a very close call, and Lau lost the front clip on the car. A bit of a heartbreak for the points leader. Giancarlo and Harry Volsmir have broken away now. Max Gunther trying to reel him back in. Yuho with them. Sorensen now up into 5th. And Dylan Steinbach has had a problem. A lot of incidents just now. Let's see what happened. There's Dylan headed toward the bus stop, and the Mercedes got too much of the turtles. Gets sent to the outside wall. Harry Volsmir also had a moment off track in 2nd place. Just drove through the grass coming into that final chicane, and finally points leader Andrew Lau had another problem. There's Lau coming toward the bus stop. No front clip, no front downforce, got too much of the turtles and went around. Giancarlo still leads now, has a 1.5 second lead. Harry currently losing ground in 2nd. Max Gunther in 3rd is starting to reel Harry in, but has Yuho all over the bumper. Nick Sorensen now up to 5th. Adam Barker, who started dead last, he started from pit road, is now up into 6th. Mike Marshall currently runs in 7th. Dylan Steinbach in 8th. Brian Hewitt now up into 9th. Zach Bache in 10th. George Cole in 11th. Andrew Lau in 12th. Ryan McDaniel. Ryan, problems in the final chicane, but he gets it turned around. Ryan quickly recovers. That car gets it going. He was closing the gap on Lau there for a moment, but lost it. Lau, however, is missing his front clip. Ryan should have an advantage to reel him back in. Take another look at Ryan coming in here. Everybody is hitting that curbing hard, but just gets that second set a little too hard. Drives it down quickly, though. Recovers the car, gets it pointed the right way, and goes back on the attack. Harry Volsmir still holds on to second. Wow, they are pushing it right to the edge by the wall. Max Gunther in third continues to close in, but still a bit behind. And it does look like Yuo is not, in the Mercedes, is not hitting the curbing as hard as the Porsches are. The Porsche this season seems to be able to take the curbing a lot better. Ooh, Yuho gets a little squirrely coming off the banking. He hits the curbing hard there. Yuho right on Max's back bumper, but this track is very, very tight. It almost takes a mistake by the car ahead to make a pass. We'll see a lot of passing going on down into the bus stop. Yuho definitely getting that Mercedes turning really well. Dylan Steinbach having a problem back behind also. Him and George Cole both had brief off tracks in the last lap. Giancarlo's lead now out to 2.8 seconds and getting bigger over Harry. Max continues to reel Harry in with Yuho on the bumper. Nick Sorensen back in fifth, trying to close the gap in on Yuho, and Adam Barker's charge from 13th all the way up to 6th has been phenomenal. Adam, using every bit of the track, is now 3.5 seconds behind Sorensen, and he is closing in. Mike Marshall sits back in 7th. Dylan Steinbach in 8th. Zach Bache now to 9th. George Cole in 10th. Brian Hewitt 11th. Andrew Lau in 12th. Ryan McDaniel back in 13th. Lau actually making a move on Hewitt. And Lau does not have the same amount of front grip. Losing a lot of front downforce. Missing that front bumper. Does still have the front splitter on. That has got to be helping a lot. We'll have to find out if Adam Barker's starting from pit road was intentional. It has definitely paid off. He continues to close in on Sorensen. Now just 3.2 seconds back from Sorensen. As I mentioned, we will have some videos out this week, some highlights of the Conliff Racing team's 24 Hours of Daytona. But Giancarlo, in his first 2 stints, he started the race for the team, had some very, very close calls, but did an amazing job keeping the car out of trouble. Harry back in second, Max Gunther in third. Max still has Yuho on the bumper as they are now less than a second behind Harry. Andrew Lau now making a move on George Cole. He continues his march back toward the front. Remember, Lau has the points lead coming into today. Adam Barker in second. Adam Barker now, who started in 13th, is now up in 6th and reeling in Sorensen in 5th. Lau with problems early, dropped way back, trying to fight his way forward, but Adam started from pit road and has been on fire ever since. Max Gunther still trying to hold off Yuho. There have been a couple of off tracks. Max really pushing the limit of the track here this morning, trying to keep Yuho on his bumper. Meanwhile, Giancarlo continues to lead here. Yuho finally gets the run down into the bus stop. Yuho to third. Ryan McDaniel has had a problem. Let's see what happened. Ryan coming through the infield. We talked about this part of the track. It's so easy to upset the car and overshoot the turn. Ryan goes deep through the grass, gets it going again, no damage to the car. Oh, holy cow! Harry Volsmeer just went around from second place. And Harry is towed to pit road. Let's see what happened. Harry coming into the infield just on the power a little too soon. The back end steps out. He gets it out of the racing surface as a lot of cars came by. Giancarlo now has the lead over Yuho as he gets the white flag. The lead is now 6 seconds. Max Gunther to third, Sorensen to fourth, Adam Barker now in fifth. Mike Marshall, Dylan Steinbach, Zach Page, Andrew Lau, George Cole round out your top 10. But Giancarlo has dominated all morning long. Adam Barker has now made his way up into fourth, gotten past Max Gunther, and is close to Nick Sorensen. Meanwhile, Giancarlo coming down the back straightaway. One more time through the bus stop. Giancarlo comes out. Perfect exit, and he is going to pull it off. Into the final chicane. Here comes Giancarlo. He will win again. He gets the win in race 1 at Charlotte. Yuho brings the Mercedes home in second. Nick Sorensen holds off a hard-charging Adam Barker to finish third. And let's see if we can talk to our top 3, starting with Nick Sorensen. Nick, it seems like so long since last I spoke to you, sir.
Was it, though?
No, it was not.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us has slept much since then. A great finish and a great charge here this morning.
Yeah, thanks. I had a little luck there to get up to 3 because I was just driving, trying to keep up the best pace I could. And Had to rely on a couple other people's mistakes. But I'll take it.
It definitely helps. You came into the morning third in points. You kept Adam behind you, so you'll close that gap up a little bit too.
Yeah, that's great. We haven't had good results in the past couple weeks, so I want to definitely get as many points as I can.
Well, a great job, a great run here today.
Hey, thanks, Doug.
Nick Sorensen came home in third. Yuho comes home in second. Yuho, you just reminded everybody over the last 2 weeks how you got the nickname the Slayer because you've been on fire.
Oh, come on. I didn't kill anyone.
Well, that is true, but man, you slay them out on track. I was really surprised. I know the Mercedes is kind of your comfort vehicle, but I was really surprised to see it out here this morning, and you still managed to bring it home second.
Yeah, it's a nice car. I really like it. And secondly, somebody actually removed the Porsche from the garage when I was gone. So obviously it's a new Porsche and I haven't bought it yet. So yeah, work it is.
Well, it does seem to get the job done. Can you get up here? Can you come through the field yet again?
Let's say like this, that considering my fellow beloved racers, I think I only need to wait.
Well, it seems to have paid off once already. Congratulations and good luck in race 2.
Thanks, Doug.
And finally, Giancarlo pulls off another win. That is his third win of the season. Giancarlo, win number 3 of the season so far.
Yeah, it was all about just keeping it nice and smooth at the start and staying consistent with it.
I know you've got to be tired. How hard was it out here with the level of exhaustion?
Yeah, my lower back and my knees are they're feeling really old compared to my age. They're really creaky and stiff after yesterday with the 24. But you know, you got to show up. You gotta get it done.
Don't make me come up there. Seriously, we're going to talk after the race. You and I are going to have some words. Because I sat here, and I may not have been pushing pedals, but I sat here for a large part of that run. Man, a great job in the 24, another win, and you're going to definitely continue to move up the points.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Giancarlo pulls off the win, but will now have to start race 2 from 7th with the invert. That is going to make things very, very exciting for him. Ryan McDaniel out getting some practice in here. Track temperature only down 1 degree during the warm-up. Andrew Lau back out on track getting some practice. Lau had quite a comeback in race 1. Despite losing the front of the car, and I do know Ryan did not get a whole lot of practice on the setup he had. Let's see how he's feeling. Ryan, that was a rough race 1. I know you didn't get a whole lot of time on the setup before you got in. Did you get it figured out? Are you going to be able to do better this time?
I switched back to the setup that I had been practicing on, so it should be better the second race. I tried a completely off-the-wall setup that I've never touched, so I was just kind of cruising, and the stab wasn't even working, so...
Well, it does seem here in warm-up, you do seem to be a bit faster, and it obviously looks like the car is a bit more planted now.
Oh, yeah. It's night and day difference.
Well, man, good luck. I know it was a rough race 1. Hopefully we see you moving up in race 2, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Doug.
Not in the field today is Mike Dolling. Unfortunately, but hopefully we see him back next week as he came into this week 5th in points. He was the last driver during the 24, so I'm guessing he is a bit tired. I am really surprised with a lot of the drivers out here. Zach Beisch and I were talking about an hour before the race. He was not even sure he would make it. He was the last driver on his team that just finished a couple hours ago. But Zach has had a great run so far this season. He missed race 1, has still managed to move up into 13th in points, and Zach started out as a dirt guy. Alrighty, folks, here we go. Race 2, the big one. Dylan Steinbach and Mike Marshall have the front row. Max Gunther and Adam Barker will start on the second row. Nick Sorensen and Yuo have the third row. Giancarlo and Zach Beisch on the fourth row. Andrew Lau and George Cole round out your top 10. Brian Hewitt starting in 11th. Harry Volsmir, a heartbreaking race 1, will start in 12th. Ryan McDaniel back on his original setup, looking to move up, starts in 13th. The real question here is Adam Barker going to take the grid this time? He is actually on the grid. Mike Marshall is the only driver not on the grid at the moment. And it does not look like Mike Marshall is going to take the grid here for race 2. He may be starting from pit road. Mike Marshall did not take the grid. Dylan Steinbach will lead him out. Hey, good morning, Aaron. How are you? If you're watching at home and you ran the 24 Hours of Daytona, let us know how your team did. And we will have the broadcast of some more of the Conliff Racing team, some more of their endurance events as the year goes on. They definitely had the strategy to beat yesterday. It's unfortunate it ended the way it did because they were definitely looking at a podium finish, maybe a win. They were able to avoid or able to skip a couple of pit stops. Pace car leads them around a full pace lap. We've been watching the track temp. They did it at night this time so that they would have a cooler track. It is down to 81 degrees on track. Air temperature still holding about 80 degrees. And a little bit of wind, about 9 miles an hour. Does look like Mike Marshall is starting from pit road. He is in his pit stall. Aaron, how are you this morning, buddy? Adam Barker starting outside of the front row. He is second in points. Points leader Andrew Lau way back in ninth. It has been a rough morning for Lau this morning. There is the view from the blimp. Let's watch this one pop off from overhead. Maybe not, because the building was in the way. The blimp was badly positioned. Here we go. Steinbach fires it through the final chicane. Green flag in the air. And already problems into turn one. Harry Volschmier in trouble. Mike Marshall has finally rolled off pit road. Let's see what happened to Harry. Harry not even to the start finish line. Oh, he got a little bit of a bump from behind. It goes around. Coming to the start finish line. No damage to the car. He gets going, but it puts him back quite a bit. Steinbach heads through turns NASCAR 3 and 4 down to that final chicane. Looks like a Mercedes will lead for the first time today. Zach Bache on the attack, already up 3 spots into 5th. Yuo already up 3 spots into 3rd. Ryan McDaniel up 3 spots. He's broken into the top 10. That change in setup has made a huge, huge difference for the 13 car. Dylan still in the lead. Adam in 2nd. Yuo in 3rd. Max in 4th. Zach Bache holds 5th. Sorensen currently in 6th. Giancarlo, who won race 1, started in 7th, has not made a move forward yet. Andrew Lau currently in 8th, George Cole in 9th, Harry back to 10th after that incident at the start. Ryan Hewitt in 11th, Ryan now back to 12th. He had an off track a moment ago. Mike Marshall holds on to 13th. Everybody cutting, or the leaders anyway, cutting a little bit of the grass there. That is a dangerous move, but seems to be paying off. That grass does get a bit slick. Yuho just set the fastest lap of the morning in 3rd place. Interestingly, it is the fastest official lap. The fastest lap is actually held by Adam Barker at the moment. But due to possibly cutting the track, it is not official. Adam on the attack. He wants the lead here at Charlotte, but cannot get the run. Mercedes power into the bus stop prevails. Zach Bache has now made his way up into 4th in that Echelon Porsche and is on the attack. And just set the fastest lap of the race. Zach Bache in 4th. Yuo tries to make a move to the outside on Adam Barker. That was a gutsy move. But he may have opened the door. Zach is right there, and it did allow Max Gunther to close up. Sorensen just behind. Giancarlo still riding right there with him. Out of the bus stop, and Adam Barker still right on Dylan's bumper. He's going to have to pass him. in the infield section, that Mercedes, just when they get out on those straightaways, out on the banking where speed counts, that Mercedes is going to be tough to beat. Max Gunther going backwards, and Dylan Steinbach is in the wall. Harry Volschier, meanwhile, just set the fastest lap. He is the first driver under the 118 mark, 117.95. Let's see what happened to Dylan. There's Dylan up front in the Mercedes. Oh, just too much of the curb, ends up in the wall. From first to eighth in one turn, a heartbreak for Dylan. Oh, Adam Barker has a problem in the bus stop. He is going to have to give up some time. Yuo, meanwhile, to the high side. See if we can see what happened to Adam. Adam coming through the infield section here. Adam comes back out onto the banking right there, headed down the, headed through NASCAR 1 and 2 down the back straightaway toward the bus stop. Yuho right on his bumper. Oh, just overshoots his braking point, jumps the curb, gathers it up, but has to get back just enough time. Yuho able to shoot by on the high side. Yuho in the Mercedes now has a 1 second lead over Barker. Zach Bache has made his way to third, and Giancarlo on the attack, now to fourth. Yuho just set the fastest lap of the morning. Steinbach is on pit road. They do have some extra fast repairs available for this morning, as this track is a bit rough on the car. Ryan McDaniel has had a problem back behind. Another one headed toward the bus stop. Just misses his braking line, gets the curbing, hits it completely wrong. Manages to get it turned around, go through the bus stop correctly, and gets it going again, but does lose some time. Meanwhile, Yuho up front just laying down some blistering laps. The Porsche of Adam Barker able to catch up through the turns and through the tight sections. But Yuho, just that power advantage that the Mercedes has is paying off. A bit of a surprise to see it working so well here. Meanwhile, every time Yuho sets a fast lap, Harry just sets a faster one. 117.74 for Harry. After a rough start before he even got to the start-finish line, got turned into the infield, has been back on the attack, has moved up into 8th, and is closing the gap. All in 7th place, Andrew Lau. Max Gunther currently running in 6th. Sorensen up to 5th now. Giancarlo in 4th. Zach Beige up into 3rd. A great run by him. Adam Barker still in 2nd. Yuho out front. Dylan Steinbach is on his way back out after repairs. Only 10 minutes into the race, though, he probably is not going to be able to go the distance on fuel from here. Yuho starting to have some connection problems up front. Meanwhile, Giancarlo just shot by Zach Beige to take 3rd. Dylan, having just come off pit road, had an off track a moment ago. Coming into the final chicane, he sent it way deep but got the grass. Wow, managed to hold on to it. That car was not exactly planted through there. Giancarlo now up into 3rd, trying to close the gap on the top 2. After winning race 1, that gives Giancarlo 4 wins so far this season. Can he sweep the morning? Zach Beige trying to stay in his tire tracks, but has to deal with Sorensen. And hey, big news coming for Sunday afternoons here in the very near future. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. Andrew Lau had problems in race 1, managed to fight his way back. He is currently running in 7th. The points leader, though, may lose a lot of ground here this morning. As Adam Barker, who came into this morning 2nd in points, currently 2nd on track. Adam making up a lot of points here this morning. Sorensen back at 5th, currently 3rd in points. He is going to lose some ground to Giancarlo. Giancarlo likely to move up into the top 3 in points after today. Zach Beige started to look for a move on Giancarlo into the bus stop. Did not have the momentum. Now has Sorensen right up his tailpipe. And Max Gunther not far behind. Andrew Lau also closing in on the cars ahead. Now just 2 seconds behind Max Gunther. Lau, who started back in 9th, already up to 7th and closing in on the cars ahead. But Harry Volsmir has just taken the position. Aaron, yes, I probably will. I've got the hand controls for oval racing down pat, so I think I probably will. And I'm really looking forward to running Indy this year. Once again, being back in the Indy 500 will be a ton of fun. There's a few special events. I won't be doing any endurance racing, as we will be broadcasting that Conliff Racing esports team. We will be broadcasting their endurance races this year. Zach Bache has suddenly gone to pit road. This is early. Will he be able to go the distance on fuel from here? Whoa! Yuo goes through that turn a little slidey, and now Adam is right to the bumper. Looks like the Mercedes may be starting to lose a little bit of grip on those right side tires, because he was drifting through that turn. Adam lost a little bit of momentum there coming out of that final chicane. Got a little too much of the curbing. The back end was slipping around. Harry Volsmir just set the fastest lap again, beating his previous fast lap. He continues to close in on the top 5. Andrew Lau back in 7th. Mike Marshall currently running in 8th. Zach Bache in 9th. Dylan in 10th. George Cole currently running in 11th. Brian Hewitt in 12th. Ryan McDaniel back in 13th. Looks like Ryan is faster than the first race. With that setup, just struggling to keep up the same pace as the leaders. Meanwhile, Harry Volsmir out on track just continues to lay down the fastest laps around here. Brian Hewitt now on pit road. These could be their fuel stops. Apparently, they think they can go from here. Harry currently running in 6th. Continues to close the gap on 5th place, Max Gunther. Max not far behind Sorensen, Giancarlo, and Adam Barker. Yuo, meanwhile, is starting to open up a bit of a gap, now 1.7 seconds. Brian Hewitt is now back out on track. Zach Bache has completed his stop as well. Zach currently running in 9th, and here comes Sorensen. Wow, these pit stops are surprisingly early today. Sorensen giving up 7th place to hit pit road. We know Giancarlo will stretch it right to the absolute limit on the fuel, on the tires. Sorensen already on his way back out. It looks like these are fuel-only stops. Nobody has taken tires so far. However, the question is, we saw Yuo losing grip through the first sector. Will he stop for tires? He continues to open up that lead by 2.25 seconds now. Giancarlo has gotten past Adam to take second. Adam now to third, Max in fourth, Harry now up into fifth. Andrew Lau in sixth, Sorensen now in seventh, Mike Marshall in eighth, Zach Bache in ninth, Dylan Steinbach in 10th. George Cole sitting in 11th, Ryan McDaniel now up into 12th, Hewitt in 13th. Giancarlo starting to close in just a little bit on Yuho. Meanwhile, Giancarlo rather, is pulling away from Adam Barker, Max Gunther. Harry Volsmir is closing in on both of them. The last 10 laps or so, Harry has been faster than everybody on track. Looks like after that issue coming to the start of the race, Harry has been driving angry and it is paying off. Harry has now caught the bumper of fourth place, Max Gunther. Meanwhile, with pit stops underway, the leaders are now coming into lap traffic. This is going to shake things up dramatically. Max unable to make an attack, but Harry is looking. Giancarlo continues to reel in the leader, now just 1.1 seconds back. Meanwhile, Adam and Max still having to keep an eye on Harry just behind. Andrew Lau has kept that car out of trouble here in race 2, has now moved up into 6th. It may come down to pit stops here and pit strategy, as it does appear the drivers that have been on pit road have not been down for very long. The longest pit stop was 8.25 seconds for fuel. That was the first stop made by Zach Bache. Zach has already moved back up into 8th place. Mike Marshall in 9th, all over Zach's bumper, trying to reclaim that position. Mike did start from pit road, has fought his way up into 9th, a great run. Giancarlo has claimed the lead from Yuho. However, that did slow them both down and has allowed Adam Barker, Max Gunther, and Harry Volsmir to close in. Giancarlo actually clipped the wall coming through that first sector. They are pushing the absolute limit of what these cars can do. Giancarlo already moving out to a 1.1 second lead over Yuho. And Harry Volsmir has been the fastest. Oh, here he goes. Harry looks to the inside on Max. As they come out on the banking, he's going to take fourth. Harry got turned into the infield before they even got to the start-finish line. At the start of the race, has fought his way all the way up into fourth. He has repeatedly set the fastest lap only to go on and beat his own fastest. Adam Barker currently sits in third. Yuho in second. Giancarlo in the lead. Yuho closed a little bit of the gap on the straightaway, but now that they head to the infield, Giancarlo will begin to pull away yet again. The Mercedes definitely has the power advantage, but the Porsche has the handling advantage by a lot, and these tight turns, elevation changes through the infield definitely benefit the Porsche. That is why there are 8 Porsches in the field this morning. Harry has just got to the inside on Barker. Harry Volsmir now to third. Harry is on maximum attack this morning. Passing Adam Barker, he is already closing the gap on Yuho. Harry less than a second behind Yuho, 1.7 seconds behind Giancarlo. After being unable to finish race number 1 due to an incident, he is going full send in race 2. Brian Hewitt has moved back into 12th place. Ryan McDaniel now back in 13th. Ryan is closing back in on Hewitt, though, both drivers in a Porsche. And Harry has gotten past Yuho to take second, now sets his sights on the leader. Yuho is headed to pit road. He gives up third. Wow, Harry really pushed the track limits there to carry more speed. Giancarlo coming into lap traffic, clears the Ferrari of George Cole. Harry also clears coming out on the banking. Adam Barker currently sitting in third. Max Gunther in fourth. Andrew Lau in fifth is losing ground to the top 4. Brian Hewitt has had a problem. Brian comes, oh, gets into the wall and it sends him around. A close call for Nick Sorensen. Hewitt does get rolling again, but ends up losing a position to Ryan McDaniel. Giancarlo's lead, meanwhile, is getting smaller. Giancarlo's lead now just 0.7 of a second and shrinking. Harry on the attack. Both Giancarlo and Harry still have to pit. In fact, the entire top 5 has not been to pit road yet. Giancarlo, Harry, Adam Barker, Max Gunther, and Andrew Lau have not been in. George Cole also has not been to pit road. Brian Hewitt is back in for repairs. Looks like Hewitt may also have gotten tires. Dylan Steinbach has had a problem. George Cole is on pit road. Steinbach, who led this one early, too much of the curbing. Oh, what a drift. He just can't save it. That would have been beautiful if he had pulled that one off. Dylan Steinbach has now drifted back into 10th place. George Cole in 11th on pit road at the moment. Cole has been on pit road an extended amount of time here. And Harry has caught up to Giancarlo. Max Gunther gives up 4th. He is on his way in. George Cole now on his way back out. George coming out right in front of 3rd place Adam Barker. Giancarlo's lead less than half a second. Max Gunther has completed his stop. He is headed back out. Top 4 have not been in. Mike Marshall is on pit road. Only the top 4 remain to need to pit. Harry sends it deep into the final chicane. Hits the curbing. He'll have a slowdown. Holy crap. Let's take another look at that move by Harry Volsmere. Here comes Harry out of the NASCAR 3 and 4, just full sends it. Can't quite get it turned, gets the curb, has to give it up. Man, what a gutsy move if it had worked. Giancarlo able to take advantage of Harry's slowdown, now has a 1 second lead. It is obvious Harry is full send. He is going for it this morning. Adam Barker sits back in third. Andrew Lau in fourth. Max Gunther in fifth. The top four. Oh, Harry's had a problem. It looks like he was trying to make it to pit road. What just happened? There's Harry coming through NASCAR 3 and 4, headed toward the chicane. Looks like he made a last-minute decision to hit pit road and just missed. Wow. What a dramatic change as Harry really attacked. Harry started in 12th, got spun before they even crossed the start line, fought his way all the way to second place. A heartbreaking end to this one for Harry. Does have a shake-up, though. The top three have not been to pit road. Giancarlo in the lead, Adam Barker in second, Andrew Lau in third. Lau is the points leader. Adam Barker second in points. Giancarlo came into the morning fourth in points. Now Barker is in. Giancarlo was fourth in points before winning race one this morning. Harry Volsmere is back out on track in ninth place. Given the way Harry is driven, I don't think he's out of a top five yet. Brian Hewitt has had a problem. Hewitt just coming into the infield, gets loose, hard hit. Ends up facing the wrong way as the field comes by. Very close calls. Brian Hewitt did tow to pit road. White flag is in the air. Can Giancarlo go the distance on fuel? Giancarlo and Andrew Lau have not been to pit road. Everybody else has. What a gutsy move by both drivers. Giancarlo headed back out. Does he have the fuel to make it to the end? Andrew Lau currently in second. Nick Sorensen in third. Giancarlo heads for the bus stop. Out of the bus stop, he's got a 20-second lead over Lau. Into the final chicane. Here comes Giancarlo. He will win at Charlotte and sweep the morning. Andrew Lau just has a couple of turns left to go before he can pull it off. And it looks like he is going to get it done. Andrew Lau and Giancarlo take the top two spots without making a fuel stop. Nick Sorensen comes home in third. Well, let's talk to our top three, starting with Nick. Nick, couldn't you have saved a little bit of fuel there?
I didn't realize that was a thing. Well, I probably did, but I hit the wall too many times with my front left, so I went into pit to get the fast repair, and took a little bit of fuel to make sure I had enough.
Well, it definitely worked. That fast repair helped. Your speed came back up, and you managed to pull off another podium finish this morning.
Yeah, really happy with that. 3 and 3 today. Good weekend. Keep me up there at the top of the points.
It definitely will, man. A great job. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug.
Sorensen coming home in third. Andrew Lau, the points leader, coming home in second. Andrew, 2 drivers go the distance on fuel. You're one of them. I have to know how much fuel you had left at the finish line.
A quarter of a liter. Just made it.
So basically, you were out of gas by the time you got back to turn 1.
Yeah, I would have been stuttering by turn 1, yes.
Man, that was awesome strategy. Obviously, that first race did not go in your favor. Adam closed the gap a little bit, but this second race may have made the difference.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think any of us practiced for it. We were all busy with Daytona, but everyone here is super quick as usual.
Well, it was a tight race, a lot of excitement, a podium finish, and may hold you with the points lead. Great job today.
Thanks, Doug.
And finally, Giancarlo sweeps the morning, but more importantly, I asked Andrew the same question. How much gas did you have at the finish?
0.19 liters. I stopped at the turn 1 and I could not get moving again. It was very marginal.
Wow. Were you, you obviously weren't conserving a whole heck of a lot. Your lap times were way up there.
Oh, I was from the very start, even before we crossed the start-finish line, I was lifting big lifts into every corner. I think doing the fuel saving yesterday at Daytona helped me kind of prep for this fuel saving in a way. Brake later, brake less type of thing when you lift.
Man, it's going to tighten the points up with the way Andrew's morning went, with the way Adam's morning went, Nick pulling off the podiums in both races, and you sweeping the morning. It's really going to tighten the points up as we go into the rest of the season. And with a shortened season, this battle is going to get really interesting.
Yeah, it's always great battles for the title. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm sure there'll be a number of great races.
I'm sure there will be. Now, I do have to ask, Harry came charging. If it had not been for his mistake, how scared were you when you saw Harry closing that gap?
Oh, we were on different strategies. He would have had to pit either way, so he was. I was not worried. He was not fuel saving.
No, he definitely was not. Well, man, a great race this morning. Congratulations, Giancarlo.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Giancarlo pulls off the sweep at Charlotte with some really gutsy strategy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys had as much fun as we did. Don't forget tonight, 7:30 Eastern, we've got the BRR Cup Series is back. And this afternoon at 4 Eastern, we'll have the HTSAI Community Hunt. So if you're playing Hunt or Call of the Wild, come join us. We will see you in a few hours. Have a great afternoon, everybody.